Okay, so we've got our flip video that we used, and the question is, how did we go about making that? So the first thing that I do always is to check my sound and audio device properties, and this is in your control panel, and I've made a little shortcut to it right here on my desktop so that I can get to it really quickly. If you don't have a shortcut on your desktop, all I do is go to control panel, and I'm going to shrink it down a little bit, and where it says sound and audio devices, all I did was right click, drag that to my desktop, and then I said create shortcut here, and that way I get to this really easily. Then I'm going to go to audio and make sure I have the right audio device selected, and I do not, so I'm going to go ahead and switch that to, in your case it would be to your Bluetooth, or I mean sorry, to your Blue Snowflake mic. And you also want to check the volume and make sure the volume's all the way up. I did that just by clicking volume. That doesn't move. So I go to sound and audio, I click audio, make sure the mic, the default recording device is right. It's the first thing I always do to make sure I get my sound, because the last thing I want to do is do all this and not have my sound. So the next thing I do is going to open up my smart recorder, and if I haven't done it before, I go to menu and options and I change the video format to the smart recorder video format if you haven't done that before. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to where I did my actual recording from first. So I started this out on Moodle, so I'm going to go ahead and go to Moodle, and I'm going to go specifically to that class site that I started at before I record anything else. So I'm kind of setting up for my students. And then I'm going to go ahead, I don't need to be logged on to do this activity, so I'm going to go ahead and hit record, and then minimize, and then I'm going to do my lesson. So I'm going to tell my kids that, okay, the first thing you're going to do is go down here to Chapter 5 Memory. I'm going to explain to them what we're doing, which is the easy way to find out how to determine the memory on a computer. So I'm going to tell them to follow that memory link, just like I did on the video you already watched. So I click on that, it brings me to the crucial site. I'm going to talk to them about clicking that, clicking download. It's going to ask me if I want to run. I said yes and yes. And then it's going to run that scanner. So in this way of doing it, using the Smart Recorder software, I'm going to get whatever I do on my PC, whether I'm using my smart notebook, I'm using my interactive whiteboard, whether I'm using specific websites like I am on this one, I'm getting the entire screen and my audio while I'm explaining it to my students, and I can get however I'm going to do it, whether I'm going to use the smart notebook and I'm doing math problems, whether I'm going to show them something online, whatever. As long as I can get it on my screen, as long as I can see it, the smart notebook recorder or the smart recorder is the easiest way for me to get those things together. Now, one of the other things that I do with this while I'm at it is I go, and I'm going to go ahead and close these out real quick, and I also do recordings with my, and I'm going to go ahead and stop this recorder, and when I hit stop, it's going to ask me if I want to save it. I hit save, and it'll take just a second to save that recording, and it did it fast because I have it set to that smart recorder format. If you find yourself waiting minutes or 20, 30 minutes, you may have set that up wrong. So the next thing I'm going to do is show you how I use the IPEVO point of view camera. Right now it's pointing at my desk. I'm going to go over there and move it to something else. We're going to say I'm doing a demo on how to do something maybe on the tablets, or you're doing an art project, or you're doing a math problem where you're doing it. If I want to record what I see here on this part of the screen, I don't just hit record. In this case, I hit the, and this is how I did the one with my computer. I put the IPEVO camera right up on the stand over top of my computer, pointed it down into the computer just like it's got now, and then I just want to record this section of the screen. So I do it a little bit different. I go and pick the record area, and then I just drag around where I want to record, and now you see that red line there. Now while I'm talking, it's picking up the audio, and it's picking up what I'm doing. If I was in front of my whatever I was doing over there, at the same time, and it syncs that audio up with my video that I'm getting from the point of view camera. So those are just a couple of ways to use the smart recorder software. You can use a flip camera like I'm using right now, and I'm doing that to kind of show you all the different things that I'm doing on the screen at the same time for students to capture and do these flip videos. So you've got your IPEVO camera available to you, you've got flip video cameras available to you, you've got the smart recorder or the Mimeo recorder available to you, we've got other software devices that we can use to do recordings too, but you've got a ton of different ways that you can get content recorded to then, when I'm all done, I save that and then I'll take and just upload it right into YouTube using the YouTube uploader, and I'll just upload the new file and then I'll link that right into Middle. So that's basically how I did these flip videos.